next series of workshops is going to be all about. So, now I imagine, because this is actually from an old PowerPoint, but I thought I shouldn't kind of assume that you're all part-time or full-time PhDs. But is there anyone in here who's not a PhD student? Yes, and you are doing?
Masters.
Research? So what size thesis?
25,000.
25,000.
I'm going for my PhD confirmation.
I'm sorry?
I'm going for my PhD confirmation next month.
Oh, okay. So you're an enrolled PhD student. So that's fine. You are a PhD student. Yes. Masters? 40,000? 25,000? 40,000. Anyone else who's not a PhD? Okay, none of you are honours. All right, well that gives me a good start. All right, so who's already collected their data? Okay, so some. Okay, so we're at a good time. Yes. Yes. So who's kind of doing it now? Yes. Yes. And who's actually got data like transcripts or whatever ready to go? Okay. So you really need the first workshop, but the rest of you don't yet, maybe. So let's talk about what this stuff is, what all this data is. I hate walking over here. There's no remote control, so I don't. No one is to say anything to anyone about my doing that. Right, let me see if... I don't think I can do anything with that because it just lived that thing. I'm stuck here. Right, okay, so let's start with this. This is always a good place to start. What do you want to find out? So let me change that to this. So what are you wanting to find out? What are you wanting from this session? Why are you here? Yes.
Whether Nvivo's right for what I want to do.
Okay. Is it the right stuff? Because that's quick to write. Yep. I can't type, so ignore the typos. Any other reasons why you're here? Yes.
I know it's really used for qualitative research, but
you don't know why?
Exactly.
Okay. Why is it useful? Okay, that's a perfectly good reason to be here.
How to use it.
How to use it. Okay. How to use it.
What is it?
What is it?
Yeah.
Which is almost the first one. But all right, we'll try that. Other suggestions, Kate?
Just enough to get started.
Enough to get started. Right. All right, I'll try and do all that. Okay, so we've got 90 minutes, which got shortened a bit, but we've got close to 90 minutes. So I'm going to give you an idea of what the software does. So that should help the people I've heard it's good, but, what does it do? Is it right for me? We might be able to cover that. I am going to deal with the concepts behind the software because I think they're helpful, because they also give us ways to look at, otherwise we might do this just using those concepts. I'm going to have a little look at the metaphors and the terminology that's used in the software, things like nodes. What on earth is a node? We're going to look extraordinarily briefly, because that's not what this session is about, at the software interface, just to give you an idea of what it looks like. I'm going to give you some idea of where you can get help, and there's some quite decent online help. If we get time and you feel up to it, we could watch one of the tutorials, which is very glossy. It's done by QSR, so there's a lot of colour and movement, and isn't this a wonderful product? But it would still give you an idea of what it does, and in any case, we'll put this PowerPoint up on the, when it gets there, the HDR Moodle site, because it's all disappeared at the moment. The music...
You've got to be kidding me.
We used to have a Muso Blackboard site, but it's being transferred, so you can't see anything in a minute. But when they stop transferring it, which might be, by the end of this week, quite soonish, then you'll be able to see the Moodle site, and I'll put this up there so that you can click on this thing and just go to it. It's only simple. And then we'll look at some alternatives. So does that sound okay?
Yep.
That's what I think we can do realistically in an hour and a half.
Well, in the meantime, I'll put it onto has everybody accessed the posterous space that I've made okay.
You have to sign up.
No,
you don't?
No,
Can you
you don't.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll get Mayo to send that again.
Yeah.
And we can put it up there. But so we'd have to put the PowerPoint up as well as the
I
recording.
can upload everything. We're audio and video recording this for just the Ed students. If everybody could check Ed News, that's probably the quickest way to get it there. I'll make an Ed News post saying online MERC seminar space, and I'll give you a link to it if you could try and save it somewhere you can remember it. And the password's really hard, it's seminars. But by password protecting it, it makes it a vital option. So I'll have everything, and you'll find other seminars around this year will be there.
Excellent. So that'll all happen, so we'll be able to get to it. All right, so just to get your head in your own research space, I just want you to jot down for me. Some of you I'm going to ask what it is, but it doesn't really matter, it's for you more than me. I just want you to jot down for me one sentence, no jargon. What is your research question, or what is it at the moment? What is your research question? In one sentence that your grandmother would understand at the dinner table. I steal that idea from Dick Gunson, who's a former professor here, because I think it's quite a nice notion. You can't expect that your granny understands edu-speak, or linguo-speak, or psycho... I was about to say psycho-babble, but I'd better not psycho-speak, or any of those things. In other words, no jargon. What's your question? So just think about that for a sec, because it's important to get your head into that space so that everything I say will have a context. Some of them are long sentences, but that's okay. All right. All right. So what? So Peter, you've started. So what's your question?
There are 4 parts to it, but I'll just give you my overarching question, which says, what are the factors, internal and external, that contribute to the development of adolescent leadership?
That contribute to
the development of adolescent leadership.
Adolescent leadership in the classroom. Okay, so tell us...
Not in the classroom.
Adolescent leadership in general. Okay, so I'm moving too much for the camera, aren't I?
No.
I can't help it. I'm like, one of those jiglets when I'm and so, okay, so what data are you collecting?
I've developed a survey which I'm delivering pre-experience and post-medical. I need to sort of put it into context. It'll mean nothing to people if I don't. There is a school called the School for Student Leadership in the Victorian Education Department. It has 3 campuses, one in the high country near Mount Hotham, one out in the Snowy River, and one out in the Western Districts near Mount Murray. And approximately 45 boys and girls each term have a 9-week immersion experience in this school where they learn about themselves and learn about leadership. That's very simplistic, but that's probably enough for this. So what I've done is I've developed a survey with 65 scale items, and underneath those scale items there are 9 constructs that hopefully look at whether they understand things about leadership, about teamwork, about cooperative learning, about a whole range of different things underneath these 65 items. I deliver the survey at the beginning of their immersion, at the end of their immersion, and the remainder of my data is made, because I'm doing a mixed methods methodology, the remainder of my data is with focus group interviews and individual interviews. So I'll have by the time I've done that twice, I'll have a data set of approximately 540 surveys, plus 18 focus group interviews and 24 individual.
Okay, so that's a lot of data.
It's a lot of data,
Yep.
and that's why I wanted to understand about Nvivo,
Yes.
because I want to know what it can do for
Yes.
us.
Yes. Now, in your survey, are there any open-ended questions?
In
Or
my
is it
survey,
mainly sort of Likert scales?
It's a Likert scale, but there's just simply one prompt. I showed leadership when, and then I finished off that sentence.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, no, that's fine. All I meant was, are there actually, are there sentences from those, or paragraphs even, from those surveys that you would want to be analysing as well? Or is the survey pretty straightforward and you're just going to take them into an analysis?
The survey
package?
will probably be done quantitatively.
Okay, no, that's fine. So you've got about 30, 45 interviews of some kind.
In total.
Okay. All right, so that's good. Someone with a slightly smaller sounding project than that want to share that with us? You've only got 25,000 words, so tell us about yours. Good. No, that's good, because, that's important.
So my topic is, to what extent is the practicum a vehicle for the mentor's own professional learning? And I have an online survey, but forget about that because that's not what I'm interested in. And I have 2 focus group interviews,
Yes.
before and after, and material from their professional learning log, which is like a reflective journal.
Okay.
You like
Interesting. No, that's good. That's good. Anyone got different sort of data that they're collecting? Maybe people are doing photo journals? Yes.
No.
Nice and loud, because otherwise the camera can't
I
hear
don't know
you.
if this is considered different, but I'm doing observations of teaching as well.
Yes.
As well as semi-structured interviews, diaries, and maybe little comments.
Okay, so you've got semi-structured interviews, diaries, observation notes of some kind, and what was the other one?
An online survey.
An online survey. And like Peter, are there any open-ended questions, or is that pretty much... haven't done it yet. Okay, so they're different sorts of data sets. Anyone got anything else? Anyone doing video? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing video.
Nice and loud.
Yeah. I'll be looking at young children's scientific concept development and
Yes.
family at home and in childcare centres. So I'll be doing video observations,
Yes.
programs, and interviewing parents and teachers.
Okay, so the interviews, will they be video interviews or audio interviews?
If they allow, I'd like to do video interview as well.
Yeah.
If not, then audio.
Okay, so that's interesting. I just wanted, because I can't remember, of course, what I've got on the next slide, so I just want to see. All right, so we've got some examples of data sets and questions. So I'll go on to this next bit, and then I'll come back. What do you want your data to do for you? What do you want it to tell you? What are you hoping to find?
What types of professional learning are taking place and how?
What types of professional learning is taking place?
The themes that are coming out of each of the interviews, what kind of pattern is emerging?
So you're saying you haven't got anything preset, you're just going to listen to the data or read the data or watch the data and let it emerge?
Yeah.
Okay? Karen, is it?
Me,
Yes.
Jenny.
Jenny.
I'm doing the same. I'm doing interviews.
Yes.
Hygiene girls with eating disorders, looking for what's happening in their lives before they've got the disorder. So I'm also waiting for things to emerge, certain types of problems.
But you are looking for some things, so tease that out a bit more. So what are you actually looking for?
What sort of events in their lives created stress, or what were the good things and what were the bad things, and to see if the things creating stress in their lives is different to what might be creating stress in other people's lives.
Okay, so you are particularly looking for stuff related to stress. It's not just a blank slate.
No.
You are looking for particular things. Other people? Kate?
I'm looking to compare, so I'm looking at behaviour interventions with kids with autism, but I'm interested in the experiences of all the people who were stakeholders in it. So what their perceptions of the intervention itself and what their experience was like participating in it. So I'm looking at that as distinct from whether it worked or not. So if we've gone in to teach a kid a social skill, but they absolutely hated the experience, I'm looking to find that out. And I'm looking to find out if that's different to their parents' experience. So their parents might have loved it and so on. So
Okay, so you're looking at various attitudes or
I'm looking
thoughts
at
of or whatever
acceptability
of different
and
groups of
practicality
people?
and whether that differs across groups. And I'll
Okay.
also be putting in photographs and like Tish.
Yep, yep. No, that's all good. And I just want to remember what I mean. All right, so a lot of you said, I just want to find out if this will do stuff for me, I want to find out what the software does. How have you been imagining in your heads, people who haven't yet started to analyse anything, how you might go about it? So for example, getting back to, because you've got a nice small set, getting back to your mentor teachers and their professional learning experiences, how have you been imagining so far that you might go about analysing the data?
Set a set of categories for the sort of types of professional learning that are taking place.
Yes.
And then trying to find out how and where or how that takes place. So I suppose categorising as types.
So where are those categories coming from?
From my reading and,
Right.
and my own self. Oh, and they'll also come actually from the focus groups. So they've started from the reading, confirmed in that focus group.
And so from the data, from the...
Yep.
Because this is important. So without Nvivo, how do you imagine, because you don't know what Nvivo does, because I haven't told you about that yet. Technically, how do you imagine you might do that?
Look for repeated words or phrases.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm good, but yes, good. But then what? I mean, I need descriptions of what you're doing on a keyboard or a piece of paper or a whiteboard or whatever. So what are you doing with these key phrases? How are you remembering?
Haven't done it yet, but I could highlight them. I could different colours. Coding. Being a visual person.
Move them into columns. I have near spots to copy and paste them into.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm picturing.
Triangulation?
Oh, I don't know about triangulation. Tell me about that.
Will I walk out?
No.
I missed the first half, so if I've said something really
No, I'm sorry.
No,
I shouldn't have jumped down your
No,
throat. No, I shouldn't have jumped down your throat.
No, as in, I call it triangulation.
Yeah, yeah.
I get my columns, I get my headings. I've done my
Columns and
highlighting.
headings. Yes, good.
So my categories are my headings
Yes.
that have come from my reading and my data.
Yeah.
And
So some of this might be data and some of it might be reading.
yes.
Yeah.
And then across, do I go across or down? One way or the other,
Yeah.
I get my different focus groups.
Okay, so focus group 1.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think
that
I
kind
do
of
it the
thing.
other way around.
So
but it
you're
doesn't matter.
you're thinking you might put in some kind of table.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
And maybe yours might have been some kind of table or something. That's one
Yeah,
possibility.
even like a template, like
Yeah, keep talking.
connections. Define the concept mapping type thing.
Concept maps. I like them.
That's what I actually
Because all of this stuff matters, actually, before we even start talking about this particular piece of software, because it's the ways in which you're kind of working with stuff. Other ideas about things you might do kind of technically? That is to say, what are your hands doing? The pieces of paper, what's the equipment you're
Think for
using?
common themes.
Yes? Yes?
And the concept map.
Common themes and concept map, yep. All right, this is all very good. What do you want the software to do?
Record the journey of our writing and all of that.
To make
So
it
for
easy.
Nvivo, you want it to record it in some way.
Well, I want the progression to stay there.
Progression. Explain that.
Well, I mean, let's say I started reading through it and I thought something, I don't know, I thought, oh, this all seems to relate to time management in mine, for example. Gosh, everybody
Yes.
seems to talk about how tricky it was to fit Ninja in the day. And so I'd start out by looking at that, and then perhaps I might change my thinking as I listen to more. So I might decide, actually, they're not talking about time management, they're talking about, I don't know, I'll make it up as I go along here, but you know what I mean? I want to be able to perhaps change it to a new one and then think, No, I liked the way I had it before. I want to be able to, the way I save drafts.
Version control.
Version control, there you go.
Version control. Whoa. Love it. Right?
So that's what I want.
That's what you want?
So where you might have got a highlighter and 6 different pieces of paper,
Yes.
you can get it to do whatever you would have done with your highlighter and your concept map.
Yes.
In your version control.
Yeah, get it to do. Expand on that. This is good.
Well, you're still doing the thinking, but you're giving it the tools from your thinking of what you're looking for, and it would hopefully report back what it's going to track those things that are found along the way.
So it's doing for you, it's remembering stuff that's coming from your data and stuff that's coming from your readings and things. They're things, I'm assuming, they're ideas.
Yeah.
And it's recording for you where it's come from. Focus group 1, person
I mean,
X.
I still would have to find it and look for things.
Yes.
But it would be tracking or cross-referencing the things that I find, maybe?
Yes. Yes.
I hope.
Other
That's
ideas?
what I'd like it to do.
No, that's right. This is all good.
I want a comparison.